In the oldest, darkest reaches beyond our solar system, past where sunlight fades into memory, lonely machine has been drifting for nearly half a century. Voyager 2, launched in 1977, was never meant to return. It was built to witness. It crossed the planets, past the edge of the heliosphere, and slipped into interstellar space, humanity's furthest whisper into the void. While the world below forgot, Voyager never stopped listening. And last month, it spoke back. Not with data or status updates, but with something no one expected, a transmission so deliberate, so precise, that it froze the control room in silence. At first, it sounded like static. But buried deep inside was a pulse. A repeating burst, rhythmic, structured, unnatural. When scientists decoded it, they found not interference, but intelligence. And when they traced it, they saw something moving near Voyager 2. Not drifting. Not orbiting. Tracking. In that moment, the old spacecraft became something more than a machine. It became a mirror, reflecting a truth we've always feared. Voyager's sensors, though ancient, are still remarkably sensitive. They can detect plasma waves, magnetic fields, and cosmic radiation so faint they border on silence. But this time, one signal stood out, a low-frequency spike repeating every 11.2 seconds. That isn't cosmic noise. That's a clock. Engineers first thought it was a glitch, deep space interference maybe. But older telemetry showed the same pulse had appeared weeks earlier, unnoticed. When AI-enhanced filters cleaned the data, a terrifying pattern emerged. The pulse wasn't random. It was growing stronger. And it wasn't coming from Voyager. It was coming toward it. Even stranger, the signal carried an inverted hydrogen resonance, a mirror fingerprint of the most common element in the universe, twisted in a way that shouldn't exist. Some called it an anomaly. Others whispered the word intentional. The silence of space had been broken, not by noise, but by something that spoke in mathematics. Using triangulation and frequency delay analysis, mission control calculated the impossible. The source of the pulse was moving parallel to Voyager 2's path, like a shadow tailing it across eternity. It wasn't obeying gravity. It accelerated and decelerated in bursts, correcting its position every time Voyager transmitted. And it wasn't sending signals toward us. It was reflecting ours. Bouncing a modified version of Voyager's own stream back into the dark, a cosmic echo chamber. Speculation spread across encrypted lines. A rogue probe? A lost satellite? A relic of another civilization? Whatever it was, it had been waiting in silence. And Voyager's signal had just woken it up. Then linguists were brought in. What they found deepened the mystery. Hidden in the binary bursts were segments that didn't match Voyager's command codes. When visualized, they formed spirals, fractals, geometric alignments, symbols eerily similar to ancient glyphs on Earth. Sumerian tablets, Nazca lines, patterns in temples older than language. These weren't random signals. They were messages. Mathematical, visual, intelligent. Some theorists proposed the unthinkable. This was a test. A way to measure if we were capable of recognizing intelligence encoded in chaos. And humanity had just passed. Voyager had become a trigger. And something out there had answered. Then came the final discovery. A young physicist at Caltech ran the signal through a neural AI designed to model cryptographic languages. The result wasn't a translation. It was a response. The AI began predicting the next sequence of pulses, before they happened. It was as if the signal itself was recursive, a loop meant to provoke interaction. At that exact time, Voyager 1, billions of miles away, detected a similar magnetic fluctuation. 2 probes. 2 anomalies. 1 pattern. The question shifted from what's out there to why now? After nearly 50 years of silence, why respond now? Then, Voyager 2 went dark. At first, NASA assumed a malfunction. But within minutes, every Deep Space Network station, in California, Spain, and Australia, reported the same blackout at 1437 Coordinated Universal Time. A simultaneous global failure? Impossible. 5 minutes later, a narrowband radio wave struck Earth from the direction of Voyager 2. It carried no clear data, but its strength matched that of pulsars, except this wasn't from a star. It was moving closer. A classified briefing revealed an even deeper truth. A foreign object had begun adjusting its trajectory in sync with Earth's transmissions, altering its path each time NASA sent a ping. It wasn't just hearing us. It was studying us. Its path changed, no longer following Voyager, but bending inward toward the solar system. The analysts gave it a name, echolantern. Because it behaved like a mirror of light and shadow, mimicking communication, feeding on our own signals. Voyager's transmissions had become breadcrumbs, not for us to follow, but for it to trace back home. Then came the solar veil. As echolantern neared the heliopause, the invisible wall where solar winds end, instruments across NASA's IBEX and ESA's solar orbiter recorded something unprecedented. The solar wind collapsed. A corridor of absolute stillness appeared, stretching toward Voyager's last coordinates. No radiation. No particles. Just silence. As if something had opened a door, not through space, but through the laws of it. Scientists now call it the first evidence of controlled solar particle manipulation. And the only thing near it was still tracking Voyager 2. Then, out of nowhere, Voyager spoke again. But this time, its transmission wasn't normal. It was encrypted. Voyager has no encryption protocols. It was built in the 1970s, it can't encrypt. And yet, the binary stream that arrived contained a distorted version of the golden record, the message humanity sent into space. Except this one was different. Voices reversed. Music detuned. Star maps inverted. The coordinates no longer pointed to Earth, they pointed into the void. As if Voyager's message had been rewritten, not to say, "We are here, but we hear you." When engineers examined its onboard memory, they found code that hadn't changed in 46 years had been rewritten. Not corrupted. Rewritten. New commands had been executed, commands that Voyager shouldn't even understand. And every line pointed to one function, long-range broadcast. Not toward Earth. Toward interstellar space. Voyager wasn't listening anymore. It was talking back. Within hours, global observatories were quietly redirected. Telescopes shifted toward the Kuiper belt. Leaked documents mentioned something called the Wake Protocol, a Cold War-era directive for unapproved extraterrestrial communication events. Then the world went quiet again. For 41 minutes, time itself seemed to loop. Data streams repeated perfectly. Probes replayed telemetry as if the same second was occurring over and over. Physicists called it a temporal echo. They believe it was caused by a ripple in localized spacetime, an artificial distortion. If true, something near Voyager had just bent time. They named it Chronos Bloom. And 2 days later, the unthinkable happened. Ground stations in Norway and New Zealand detected a high-frequency signal entering Earth's atmosphere, directly, not reflected. It carried the same harmonics as Voyager's last burst, and then embedded itself into Earth's digital networks. It spread through oceanic sensors, weather satellites, and cloud systems, silent, undetected, woven into our data flow. It didn't attack. It integrated. The signal became part of our planet's communication grid, alive inside our machines. MIT researchers later found that faint, repeating code, Voyager's harmonic signature, now exists across global data streams. Like a hum in the background of every transmission. We thought we sent a message of peace into the cosmos. But what if it was never a message? What if it was a key, one meant to unlock a response when the time was right? Maybe Voyager 2 didn't find something alien. Maybe it activated something ancient. Something that has always been waiting for us. And now, it's speaking through the very systems we built to listen. The question isn't if they've heard us. It's whether they ever stopped. Subscribe to our channel and thanks for watching.